Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 660 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Piles, joined today by John Kozak, our newest member of the FloWrestling team, and Ben Funky Askren. Hello and happy Wednesday to everyone. Ben, how are you?
Good. You know, I was thrown off a little bit, though. I thought maybe you were throwing me back to something because you titled this document for our today's show as 560, but we are on episode 660. We're 100 more, so I thought maybe you were pointing something out to me that I missed.
No, I just typed the wrong number because we're getting on up there. But it's a good thing Kozak's on this show because we are 6 episodes away from a very fateful number.
We're just gonna skip this.
I don't know what we do. Do we just not do that show? Do we have 665 part 1, 655 part 2? How do we have as a former pastor? How do we navigate these satanic waters?
Yeah. Well, I'm still licensed, so I haven't fallen from grace.
Okay. He's still a pastor.
Couple prayers, couple blessings, and we'll be good. We're fine.
All right.
We're not scared.
All right, we're not scared.
Yeah.
That's it. That's right. We can't let the fear win.
Before I forget, Christian, because I missed 636, which was a Missouri area code. 660 is Northern Missouri. So shout out Northern Missouri.
What's in Northern Missouri? What's the best thing in Northern Missouri?
Not all that much. Not all that much.
Where's the Ozarks?
That's south by about an hour of Columbia.
Okay. Did you ever go there?
I went one time. I went on a party boat. I think I was graduated with a bunch of my college buddies, and they were doing the whole. I don't remember if it was Memorial Day or Labor Day. I don't remember which one it was. They were doing the whole weekend, and I said, "Sigh, this is not good. We should not be doing this." And and then later that night, shout out. I believe it was Gabe Conahan fell off the second deck of the bus. Second deck of the boat, and had to be taken to the hospital. He did survive, though.
All right. No one died.
Just bodily harm.
Great boys trip.
Raymond Jordan almost died also one time.
Raymond Jordan?
Yes.
It seemed like it would take a lot to potentially kill him. He was
he's not so great with the water.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
one weakness.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Okay, so
don't go to the Ozarks.
Don't go to the Ozarks. Okay, I've seen the show. It's not exactly a ringing endorsement for for the vacation spots.
It's funny.
I won't write it off. Okay, cool.
Oh, and then so I got an update. Kristen, I sent you the text. My buddy, I forgot a part of the story. My buddy that tried sneaking the bagpipes into the NCAA tournament, and I wasn't where he tried to get in, but he sent me a follow-up text that, ha ha ha. That was a good memory. The one part you forgot, though, was that I was really drunk and awkwardly trying to sneak these bagpipes in with the bag, and the cops thought I had some type of weapon, and they held me at gunpoint. What a dummy.
All this so he could introduce you with some bagpipes. I'm sure he would have played them so wonderfully had he been able to get them in his drunken stupor. It may have been a blessing in disguise he wasn't able to get in.
So great.
So a few little news nuggets, and we'll get moving on, because I want to talk, when we have Kozak on, we should talk international wrestling, because that's in his wheelhouse. So some transfer news to get to. Gage Garcia, formerly of Michigan, headed to Lehigh. So he's a Pennsylvania guy, going to Lehigh, apparently going to play football and wrestle, which is exciting news for wrestling fans, exciting news for Lehigh fans, as I think a lot of people are really excited to see what Gage could do at the D1 level in wrestling. So, cool story to follow there as he's left Michigan, now will be at Lehigh. I'm assuming he still projects at 197, but maybe he's a heavyweight. I'm not sure. And then Keegan Moore from Oklahoma State to UNI to Oklahoma. So he's going to...
That Keegan Moore. I thought you meant the one that was from. There was one from West Virginia also. Remember him?
There was. This is not him. I don't know what happened to that Keegan Moore, actually. I've been only able to keep tabs on one Keegan Moore, and this will be his third school, all in the Big 12, and he will have completed the Bedlam rivalry. So that's a rare accomplishment.
Wild.
If you remember, some years ago, John Smith was half pissed off at Keegan Moore, so now he will get to wrestle against John Smith's team potentially.
What if he upset AJ Ferrari?
He would be whole pissed off.
Yeah.
Full pissed.
Full pissed off. I think that's probably highly unlikely, but you never know.
Dad, burn it, Keegan. Okay. So, thinking about our Olympic draws, I've been, we've got the seeds. They're fully set, right? There will be no more changing.
No changes. Yeah, Poland was the last ranking series that could have gone towards Olympic seed. So yeah, they're set. They're in stone.
Okay. So you tell us.
Hold on. Can I ask one question first here? Because this said brutal draws loom for Team USA was the title of the article. But they only seed to 4. So number essentially 5 through 16 are completely unseeded. Mm-hmm. So I mean, really, there's just 2 good guys on each side, which I think seems better because sometimes there could have been all of them on one side. So we have a even chance of drawing 2 different good guys. Is that correct or false?
Yeah, I think the genesis of that title is we only have one guy seated in at the Olympics, just Kyle, and so all of the others really could have the toughest draws possible. So I think it's just kind of like
they could draw right into a number 1 or 2 or whatever.
They could draw into a 1 or 2, and then because in a lot of the weights the best are split. So like for instance, for Gable, he's gonna have to go through Gino and Taha and potentially Zare as well, depending on where he falls. So it's like if Gable wants to be gold, he's gonna have to beat both of them. No matter what, no matter where he's drawn.
Got it.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So not ideal there. Why don't we just go through, starting at 57, work our way through and kind of say, hey, where do we want to be placed in these brackets? Because only Kyle's the one we know where he'll be. So 57, for example, seeds go Micic 1, Aguyev 2, Atley 3, and Kumar 4. So I guess the first question is, who else is getting drawn in that's of real note?
Yeah, so right off the bat, Takahashi, who has 2 wins over Gilman, one from the 2017 World Finals and another from World Cup. So he's probably the number 1 guy who you don't want to see right off the bat, and Gilman could see him first round.
Right.
So Takahashi, Sanayev from Kazakhstan, Atri from Iran, Haratunyan from Armenia. Those are kind of the next 4 in line.
I mean, someone like Erdenabot ranked 11th is
he's
a really tough guy. Yeah, he's really
Has
right.
Gilman ever wrestled Stefan Micic? He has not, correct?
No, they were both at Pelicone in January 2020, and Cologne beat Micic, and then Gilman beat Cologne.
So, what do you think Stefan's chances are of going on a run and potentially making the finals? Kumar, like, how would that potential Kumar match go, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think that Kumar on paper is better, but I think the margins aren't all that big. So, I think what we just talked about was the guys that are getting drawn in could. Micic could very well have one of those guys for second round and even keep him from getting to Kumar. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How many guys would you say are in this bracket? I mean, Micic is ranked 12th for crying out loud. This is a guy who he medals at a lot of tournaments. How many of these guys would you say are they're kind of here, but they're not really probably one of the 16 best truly in the world? Like is the Guinea-Bissau, Algeria, would you say there's only a couple? Because in some of these, there's probably more guys that are just like not really on the Olympic threat level.
Yeah, so I would say if you're looking at the Olympic qualifier rankings, those last 3 would probably be the only guys in the bracket where I'd be like, all right, they don't really have a shot at.
Is this Lou? Is that the one that beat Dayton?
Oh my gosh! At Pelicone. So yeah, even down to 13. Those guys are all, I'd say, medal contenders, right?
Okay.
So it's pretty easy here. We have Colombia gets Mičić first round, and then right below him, we're going Guinea-Bissau against Gilman, and then we got one of them in the semis.
Perfect.
There you go.
That's easy.
Bada bing. Simple enough. So I think it's pretty obvious you would probably prefer Gilman drawn in the top side, right? With Kumar and Mičić, as opposed to no one wants to be near Aguyev. How would you rate him compared to the other favorites in men's freestyle in these different weights?
Aguyev?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's right up there with maybe one of the heaviest favorites. I'd like to see him against Takahashi, but he's been on a run the last 3 years, and the only guys that he lost to aren't even in this bracket, the guys from Azerbaijan. So I'd say he's probably outside of Sedulayev, and maybe Rashidov, maybe the third highest favorite.
You think Rashidov's that big of a favorite at 65?
I do. Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I love Aguyev. That guy is so fun to watch. Okay, so 65, we can talk about it even though no Americans, not even any, no defected Americans either. Because Habit was right there, but fell. But just give your thoughts, hypothetically, if the Tunisian were out and Jordan Oliver were in, where would we want J.O.? What looks like the soft part of the bracket to you?
Yeah, I think, I kind of alluded to it. I think Rashidov is, really highly of him. So you want him, Rashidov is the 1 seed. So I would say you want J.O. on that bottom side with Bajrang and Niazbekov. Panteleo just beat Niazbekov twice a couple months ago. So that's the soft side for sure.
And for this one, would you say probably 14 on is the bottom 3 are probably not as much contenders?
What about Destrabats? Come on, man. Push him out.
I don't know, man. He's given, listen, the Zayn win was flukish in nature, but he's been competitive with guys.
Right.
Yeah. He's
a legit senior level wrestler. Yeah, that's all I'll say.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Ben?
Can he compete with Rashidov? No, I don't think so.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Rashidov and Odaguru. I actually don't know. I've never heard of number 3 on your rankings from. I guess he's from Armenia. He's probably Russian. Vazgen Tevinyan.
Yeah, Tevinyan.
I haven't heard of him.
Yeah,
he's newer, right?
He is. Yeah, and he kind of rose. If you remember the World Cup in December, he won that, and he beat Musakayev in the finals. And that was Musakayev coming off a win over Aliyev. And then Tevanyan went into, and he still had to qualify the weight. And so he went into the European qualifier, and he won that as well.
Nice.
So yeah, he's been on a run. He's kind of the hot hand.
So then, obviously, I know Punya, Musakayev, Goddiv, and Aliyev. Watched them all a bunch. I don't feel like Destrabats has a chance against any one of those 7. So the likelihood he gets a medal is very, very low.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of cut the medal contenders off at Aliyev at 7.
Yeah.
Even Niazbekov and Tobier.
Yeah,
Valdez could get a heater potentially if he gets put in the right spot.
Yeah. Niazbekov, the way that he beat Punya in the World Semis in 2019, and the way that he beat him was kind of weird. He got a 4 towards the edge, kind of got out ahead, and then Punya just couldn't run him down. So I don't necessarily see that happening again.
Yeah. Do you think it's an Odaguru Rashidov final? If they're opposite?
Yeah, if they're opposite. And that's maybe alluding to a question that we had about Odaguru, is that we haven't seen him wrestle very much. He was just at Asians.
Right.
But it's been a while since 2019, and since 2019 Worlds. And he didn't look peak form there. And so kind of in my mind, I see Rashidov kind of rising. He looks really good, and we haven't really seen the same out of Odaguru as of late. But he hasn't had the opportunity, so I guess I don't know.
Yeah. Japan's interesting these first couple of weights. They've got some tough guys.
Yeah, they seem to always have contenders at the first two, and then after that, they really. It's very rare that you see someone contending at the higher weights for Japan.
Well, they've been good at 74. They had a world finalist in last 6 or so years. I forget which year it was, but they've been decent there. But you're right. But beyond that, it's tough. 74. Let's get to this. The unseeded Kyle Dake, a.k.a. the Boogeyman, he'll just be dropped in. And Kyle Dake's not the guy who's going to give a rip where he gets dropped in, too. You know?
He definitely does it. But for our spectators' sake, for my sake,
yeah,
this is dumb. This is really dumb. Well, he won 2 world titles. Why can't we give him a few points for that? Even if you were to reduce the amount of points, so like if you win in a non-Olympic weight or you win in a weight that you're not then competing in at the Olympics, like you should get some points for that. You really should. And so, the fact that it's kind of, it more sucks for Chamizo or Sidakov or someone who's actually earned one of these top seeds.
Yeah.
If they then have Kyle Dake dropped in on top of them, that would be way less than ideal.
Yeah, it will stink for sure. It's nothing. It would be nothing new for us to see something like that. We had David Taylor, Yazdani Charati round 1 or whatever.
Right.
How the hell is Kaisanov? How the hell is he number 2?
Placed high at 19 Worlds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the one that was in Kazakhstan.
Yeah, and he like the one that's in Kazakhstan. Yeah, and he like who we were talking about yesterday, Micic. He wrestled at a ton of the ranking series.
Yeah.
Whereas, Sidakov, I think the only way he's getting points is from Worlds
or something.
Yeah, and Chamizo the same way. He really valued wrestling at those ranking series. And I saw this, I think maybe we take for granted how close we follow international wrestling and how much we know, like, how the ranking series goes and how people get seated. So I saw some people like comment like, well, what's the deal? What's the deal with Kyle Dake not getting seated? And so number one, it's he competed at a non-Olympic weight where you only get points at the weight you compete at.
Right.
And then number two, you have to go to ranking series events. And Kyle Dake hasn't gone to the ranking series events like Chamizo and Kasanov have. So I think that's a little confusing for people that don't follow international wrestling like we do.
So, hey, actually, so on the bottom of the doc, you guys, I don't know who put this together. I don't know if it was John or Christian, but you have this matches per year thing since 2018. I got some. Can I ask some questions on that one?
Sure.
Can we pull it up?
So is that? Sure. Does Tyler have it?
Yeah, Tyler.
Okay. Cool. So is this international matches only, like, for example, for David Taylor? Are the U.S. Open and the trials not included in here?
It's all senior level matches. So Taylor and Dake both had like that injury year that's kind of included in this segment of time.
Plus COVID.
Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's for
that's when Nate Jackson got his matches.
Dude.
Yeah, seriously. So when it says matches by country, and Russia has more than the U.S., which is, it seems shocking to me. What would you account that? Would it be that there's more tournaments close to them, so more of their representatives can enter, or like when we always complain about Russians not wrestling enough, and now they have as a country they have 2,000 plus more matches than us.
Right.
I would wonder how many of those,
if you count
those matches
internationals.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Christian, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I wonder how many of those matches, those Russian matches, happened in Russia against Russians.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah, well over half.
So
probably 80%.
Yeah, so this is stemming from a question that we had from CJ Kemp. How come Odaguru isn't in the streets like a lot of foreigners? And so if you look at his matches in the last 3 years or 3.5 years, he's only had 39 matches, and
That's crazy.
It really is, and so it averages out to about 11 a year. Now there was COVID in there, but still it's really small to where you can look at Bajrang had 80 matches in the same time period. Chamizo with 82, Nate Jackson with 78, right? So,
Yep.
Yeah, it's really interesting if you think about it. And Odaguru is maybe just as good as Bajrang, or he's right up there and better than Punya. But those two are way more popular, right? You think about international stars, and Bajrang and Chamizo kind of come to mind right away.
Yeah.
But
so when you scroll down to the matches by country,
yeah,
John,
yeah.
Is that so? Like the U.S. Open, how many matches are at the total U.S. Open? Would that be counted in here? Because I feel like just the U.S. Open alone has thousands of matches.
Yeah.
Or am I way off?
There's there's hundreds, and part of that's because we wrestle a full consolation. So I could probably, if you gave me a second, I could pull it up. So
why does Russia have so many damn matches then?
Yeah, so Russian Nationals is huge. The brackets are
that
always
big?
Very big.
Really?
Full of Russians.
Yes, full of Russians. So you have Russians
Is
wrestling
that who
Russians.
wrestles the Russian now?
Yeah, and then also Russia has a lot of tournaments within Russia's.
Just freestyle.
So freestyle tournaments, just senior level tournaments, and so.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was a stupid statement. I didn't mean just freestyle. I meant just open to the Russians, or is it international where anyone can enter?
Yeah, so it's like you take the Euregan, for instance, whereas anybody can enter, but who's going to be there the most? It's going to be the Russians, right?
Yeah, of course.
And so we have this in our minds maybe where Russians aren't competing as much, but they are competing, but it's mainly against other Russians. And
Got it.
And so I think the reason why Russia and U.S. are so high is because our national tournaments are huge, like the U.S. Open or like Russian Nationals or the Euregan. Whereas Iran, they don't have these huge national tournaments, or even Azerbaijan or Georgia or Turkey. They're really small. And so Japan is a great, for instance, their national tournaments, their biggest brackets are like 12 guys, 16 guys.
Really?
If you go on their site, you can see their brackets are
like
sometimes
Russia.
Like
what's
6
their?
people.
So when you say big, Russia, is that 50? Is it 60? Is it 100? Is it what is it?
Yeah, I would say 40 to 50, 40 to 50
bracket.
guys per bracket, and that's almost all the way down the line in every weight. Maybe 92, 97 heavyweight are a little lighter, but.
So, look, kind of getting it back to 74 and thinking about Dake not being seeded, one thing I think it would be good to consider with Dake or just the non-Olympic guys is if we want the non-Olympic weights to be, viewed as not such less than, I think the seeding should consider those, especially in Olympic years. I think that should factor in. Now, Dake not wrestling in any rankings tournaments, that's just, that's a different thing. But I think they should hold some weight if you win the previous year's world championship, just so you don't end up in these sort of scenarios. And even if they did, they could still be unseeded because that may be his only ranking qualification. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah, and this is the 74 bracket is another, for instance, of Dake's going to have to go through Sidakov and Chamizo to win gold. There's really no way around it unless one of those guys gets upset, because Chamizo and Sidakov are on opposite sides of the bracket, and Dake is going to get drawn in on one of the sides.
Yes.
So
have to go through both. Now we say go through both. There's upset potential. There's no guarantees that those guys are all going to win. Who's the biggest threat, not named Dake, Chamizo, or Sidakov in this bracket? Who are we not talking about? It could be a disruptor.
Maybe Kazimagomedov from Belarus, who qualified at the last qualifier. He beat Selkozhanov,
Slovakian.
Yeah, the Slovakian who beat Jamalov and also beat Chamizo. So he might be one guy. the rest in there, there's no reason. It'd be a big upset if any of the others defeated Sidakov or Chamizo.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What about the guy you guys have ranked number 4? I shouldn't even try.
Kinchadze, yeah.
Kinchadze, yeah. 'Cause he's been competitive at the World a couple times, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a good point. He could be another guy. But yeah, I still think that would be an upset if he were to take out Sidakov or Chamizo.
Okay, 86. David Taylor will be drawn in. The 1 seed, Hassan Yazdani. 2, Deepak Punia. 3, Miles Amin. 4, Artur Naifanov. The top side is tough with the Russian, Naifanov, and Yazdani, the Iranian, the reigning Olympic champion at 74 kilograms. So the bottom side is definitely softer. No question about that. The question is, where will David be drawn, not where would be the most advantageous, right?
Right.
I mean, the only person that I think we're worried about is Yazdani. When I look at the list, there's no one else that I'm like, oh man, that's going to be a tough match for David. I think he's going to I feel like he's going to smash a lot of these dudes. So unless we somehow have Yazdani Taylor first round, that's probably the only worry.
Yeah. There's one. So Russia hasn't solidified their rep here, like
really
in stone. Yeah. So Kurugliev is the other 86 kilo guy, who I actually think would be.
I think he's better.
Yeah.
Do you think he's better? I think he's better than Naifanov.
Yeah. I know Mike Mail did a little breakdown of the two of these, of Naifanov and Kurugliev. So Kurugliev is the guy that knocked David out in the semis.
By knocked out, we mean kicked him in the face.
Yes. Yeah.
Not beat him.
And then David came back and won. But Naifanov has kind of always gotten the edge over Kurugliev when they've hit in competition. And he just beat him a couple months ago. So that's why I have Naifanov in here, because he beat him head to head.
How and when are they deciding?
That's something I haven't heard. So Russia's going to compete in Italy. They're sending 4 of their 6 Olympians, and they did not put Naifanov or Kurugliev on the list that they're sending to the Sassari. So I'm not sure. I don't know. I haven't heard yet.
And I wonder if they would care. I mean, would they want to be? So yeah, would they want to be seated at this weight? Because Kurugliev would not be seated, right?
No. Mm-mm.
So it's like almost, do you want to be? Would you rather be drawn in?
Yeah.
And then who goes up to the 4 if they don't send Naifanov?
Oh man, I don't know.
Not David.
Not David. No, he doesn't have enough points. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd have to look at.
So hopefully he. Hopefully we figure out.
So, would it be more wise for Russia to send someone unseated so they potentially end up on the bottom side opposite Yazdani?
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost smarter, because then, I mean, yeah, because if you end up on the side, okay, so if you're on the top opposite him, and then David's on that side, the chances that they're going to medal is really, really low. Whereas if they end up on the bottom, and you know David's the best guy, you just have to deal with him, and then you could potentially medal. But if it's David, Yazdani, and the Russian on top, then the chances you medal are very low.
Counterpoint: does Russia even care? Do they even think about seeding at all? Like, this is a very
I've never had seeding discussions with Russians.
This sounds like something a D1 coach would be thinking about. I don't know if this is something that the Russians even consider, because they're more or less ambivalent about the rankings.
How do you know that? Well, you know they don't go to the rankings tournaments, but how do you know they really don't care? Maybe they haven't figured it out yet, Christian. Did they seed their own nationals? Do they seed their own nationals?
All they care about is winning. They just want to win.
Do they seed their own nationals?
They seed like the top 2 sometimes. They'll separate. They'll separate the top 2.
So they kind of get it a little bit.
Yeah, they get it, and all they care about is winning, Ben. So if they thought it helped them, they would do it. They've gone to much more drastic. Yeah.
So Russia never cheats. What are you talking about?
I didn't say they cheated. I just say
they never passed bottles of piss through walls and got new ones in there. It's never happened.
It's never happened.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
So UWW hasn't updated their seeding like the final seeding yet, but I'm pretty sure the Colombian Carlos Izquierdo would be the 4.
Oh, snap.
if
What? Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
An incredible development. So that. All right, so David Taylor, we don't really care where he gets drawn in. Although bottom side looks nice.
Yeah. I just for spectators, I would love to see him and Yazdani in the finals. I think they're the clear 1-2. That'd be much better. But yeah, I don't think it matters that much.
That would be amazing. 97 kilograms. We know where we're seated. We got a seed, guys, and we're the 2 seed, which is the best seed because it's away from the 1 seed. The best wrestler walking the planet right now, Abdul Rashid Sajalayev.
How do we get Muhammadian the 4 seed?
We go back in time, and we enter him into the rankings tournaments.
That's right.
That's about all we've got going for us right now. He ain't beating Sajalayev, though, but we do. I guess you're saying you want him.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Kyle.
Yeah, one way from us.
Beat it.
Yes.
Well, he could be top side still. Him and Sajalayev, round 1. Let's go.
That'd be great.
That'd be a fantastic development. I'm not. You know what? I'm not worried. I will reiterate. I'm not worried about Muhammadian anymore. We will just not shoot for 2.5 minutes, get him super tired, and then we'll start snapping and running behind him at the end. He has no energy for Kyle Snyder. I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
And then we've got Sharifov. He's in the mix. He's super good. He is beating Kyle Snyder. A little worried about him, but he will not be seeded.
He has not looked good lately, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's getting old. I mean, this is a man that wrestled Cale Sanderson 2011.
Well, I said that, and I said he was old in 2019. He beat dang Kyle, our young buck.
Well, now it's 2 years later. It's great. Time catches up to you.
All right.
Yeah, Sharifov beat Muhammadian like 2 months before Muhammadian beat Snyder, which is pretty wild too. But the last 2 tournaments, he's not looked good. If you guys remember, he forfeited to Kyle at the DeGlane in January, and then he lost just in Poland to Canedo, the Cuban representing Italy. So that's how he lost his like seed, because he was the 3 seed, and then didn't get any points in Poland, so he got jumped.
So this looks like to be the lowest ranked seed you have, because you have Nurov from MKD.
MKD.
Which one's that?
Macedonia, right?
Yeah,
See,
Macedonia.
I thought it'd be Macedonia, but it's a K, and that threw me off. Because Macedonia I thought was with a C.
It's a soft K.
Soft K.
Yeah.
So anywho, he's the 4 seed, but you have him ranked 13th.
I do, yeah. So he took bronze in 2019, and he beat Yurgali from Kazakhstan in that match. But he's had a lot of kind of mixed results. He's lost to Hushtin. He's lost to Andritsev. He lost to Hushtin a couple times. Lost to Canedo. So he's got some losses, but he was kind of on an easy side there at Worlds. Well, easy. He had Sajalayev, but aside from that, yeah.
Piece of cake.
Yeah.
Got it. So that's 97. Go Kyle, go, and we go to 125. We touched on it briefly, but what is the big takeaways here from the 125 Gable's bracket?
Ben, you want to go?
Oh, me? Okay. I thought you were the expert here.
That's fine.
We talked about this yesterday. Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to go through Agul or Petrashvili, which is not ideal. Zari's going to get drawn in too. I don't really see anyone else besides those guys being a threat to Gable. And as I said, I'm picking Gable as a favorite. He went to another level this year, and I think he's going to beat all those dudes.
Yes, he is. He's fantastic. So I don't know. There's no better side. Just hopefully we end up on the side that's not because Zari's getting drawn in. So we don't want to be on Zari's side and one of the two other best guys' side. So
I don't know Cody Janzin. How do you ever say this dude's name? Cody Janzinski or whatever this.
Yeah.
Kotsianivsky.
Yeah. There you go.
Like
yeah.
that.
Something like that.
From Ukraine.
Spay's really good at saying it.
But he also says Yashardo and all the fancy pronunciations like he's some learned Washington and Lee alum and making us feel stupid.
Yeah. That Kostianovitsky, I don't know. Spay says it better than that even. But he's had some really good results in the past, but he's like Sharifov, I think he's a little past his prime and he's not medaled at a couple of the tournaments of late. So I don't really look at him as a threat. The heavyweight is one of the with Gable specifically. It's kind of like it just scares me because everybody is like really, really
sure.
Like Gable's he's gonna win gold. He's looking better than ever, and maybe that's why everybody thinks that. It's because it's true. But this is like where I'm just like hesitating and holding back. Like I just don't want to get my heart broken. Yeah,
when a heart breaks, it don't break even.
That's right.
They say.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just have had a policy since like 2018 that I will pick him to enter any wrestling contest he enters.
Yeah,
I'm just sticking with that.
Yeah.
I mean, Abdul and Petrovic are very good, but Gable he's been unreal. What he did to Gwiazdowski at the trials was like, oh my gosh, he's on a different level for sure.
Yeah, did you see what Zari just did to Gwiazdowski though?
Yeah, I mean, damn it! Stop trying to make counterpoints.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's just have Gable.
Zari got pinned by Mason Paris, who he is pieced
There
up.
we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Counterpoint. Boom, boom.
Yeah.
Him with that uppercut.
Yeah. Okay. No more counterpoints. I can see.
He ran out.
Gable gold.
There it is. That's all we needed to say. Hey, we'll get to a couple questions. We got to go. Quicker show today because of some things going on at the Flow HQ. Fun stuff. But this is the most important question maybe right now because employee safety on the line.
This was great.
From EJ Zeppelin 42. This is coming from a Fargo resident. Canceled the Baymont Inn reservation! Exclamation point, exclamation point. Rough hotel with a janky casino connected to it. Christian is right on the dorms. Listen, not my opinion. It's the opinion of EJ Zeppelin 42. These guys are going to end up with stab wounds if they stay at the Baymont Inn.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is my first Fargo, and I'm staying at the Baymont.
You need cancel it. Listen, we're not locked into a lifetime contract with the Baymont Inn.
I know.
Cancel it. You need to take this is a great opportunity for you to assert yourself, okay? Pull an alpha move against Spay. You don't have to stay at these terrible places just because he books them.
Yeah.
That was, Spay learned from Bader, who learned, we all I had some tendencies to book some bad ones, but you can turn the tides. We can start staying at better places.
Yeah, JD and Spay, they're the ones behind this, and me and Bray, we got things to live for, man. We got kids. I don't know.
JD just has Murphy the dog.
That's right. No. Bray was reading all the reviews yesterday, and some of them were pretty rough. I know he read one on air, but like another one was like somebody opened the door and a Doberman like leaped out at him. It's like, oh Lord.
That's too funny.
So I don't know. We'll see.
Some people just get on there, they look at the pictures, say, oh, this looks fine. You got to read the reviews. You have to read the reviews. It's great content.
Yeah.
Hey, so one more question, and then we'll beat it. What is the best super match to make between college eligible wrestlers?
This was so easy. This is so easy.
Well, let's see. It's so easy. What are you going to say?
It's very easy. AJ Ferrari, Gable Stevenson. Boom. Done. You're welcome.
That's a good one. But I maintain.
No, it's not Dayton and Spencer anymore because Dayton lost. It was that. Dayton lost. That is no more.
I'll still take it.
No, Christian, you can't do it. We get Ferrari. We get Ferrari and Gable. It's so tremendous. And then you guys better put them in a room and make them talk so much trash, hype them up, jack them up.
That'll be tough.
Let's get out.
It'll be tough to get those two to open up. I love when it has to pass through Ben's like humor processor, and it takes a little second. He's like, "Wait, they love to talk. That makes no sense." Then you kind of get it.
It would be so great. Can we please do it? Pretty please. Listen, you can pay college athletes soon. Let's just give them some money. That's like coming through really soon.
Listen, dude.
What?
Here's why I'm out on this match.
No, don't be out.
Okay, I'm in.
The best thing
I'm
ever.
100% in. First of all, let me retract it by saying I'm 100% in. And here's why I'm out. It's not a competitive match. It's not remotely competitive. You've got the better wrestler who is 40 pounds bigger.
Well, listen, Ferrari doesn't have to make weight. He might get huge for this match.
He will not get huge like Gable is huge. Because
not that huge. Not that huge.
Gable is not. Listen, this man just made the Olympic team. Okay, AJ was also in the Olympic bracket. AJ's amazing, true freshman NCAA champion, something that Gable wasn't able to accomplish. But I'm just saying right now, the Instagram may be behind it, the hype and all that. But I think as far as a competitive match, I don't see it.
Really?
You think it's
a surprise?
Okay. If it's a freestyle match, what's the score?
6-0.
Yeah, I think that's generous.
Because Ferrari's gonna be disappointed and not take some bad shots and get reattacked.
True, they're both reattackers. It could actually be boring.
Yeah, but I'm here for the hype. I'm here for the lead up. All
right, let's do it. You know what? I'm in.
Let's do it. Seriously, you can pay athletes soon. Let's do this.
Yeah, can we?
I think so.
Okay, well, we'll just start doing it and see what happens.
Well, you won't be ineligible. You won't be ineligible if it happens. They will. So, no skin off your back.
That would probably be really bad. We're not really going to do that. Okay, fun show. Thanks to Kozak. Thanks to Ben. And thanks to you for listening. No show tomorrow, remember? So, we will be going. Caleb, this is the reason we're going. It's good. Caleb going to his very first ever Astros game. Big day. This is his birthday present, so we're going to be there. So it means I won't be here. Thank you guys so much for listening. We will be back next Tuesday. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Lots of wrestling still going on. Lots of news coming. And we'll try to keep you posted. Thanks. See you next time. Goodbye.